yeah, let's, my ask for today is that, man, as we head into service, we've got 40 minutes here until we really start. Um, that we don't take these 40 minutes as, oh, this is just like a break in between what we're doing. That these next 40 minutes will really be a continuation of what the worship team started in their practice with welcoming the Lord in, with what host crew started with welcoming the Lord in prayer, and it's not just like a dead space in between. That we just be really intentional with our prayer and asking the Lord to come and just move. Really, I mean, how we're used to. Like, we are so used to Him moving in power in this place that it's wild. And I think that we can sometimes take it for granted. So that's my ask, is that this morning we don't take it for granted, that we steward well what is already happening here, especially without Matt and Adrienne here, that we just really go for it today, all right? That we lean in and, man, when Grant is preaching, that we are talking back, that we're letting him know that we are just riding along with him. In worship, just, man, worship your face off. Just do whatever it is you feel. I mean, that's not hard for you to do, but I like your little two-step that you do every Sunday. I like that. But yeah, just like, man, let's not take our foot off the gas because Matt and Adrienne are here. Let's push it down even harder and let's go for it, all right? So yeah, that's really all that I've got to say. Well, that's a nice piece of ice, dude. Good job. All right, well, without further ado, doing Team Rally today is the one, the only, Pastor Scott Fletcher. Thank you. You like that, Evan? That was a good intro, huh? All right. So this morning, for my Team Rally here, coming out of Hebrews 12, I already kind of shared this with the large tent last night and the host crew this morning, kind of just in what we were praying into. But I'm just going to go ahead and read it again. So Hebrews 12, verses 1 through 3 says, "Therefore, since we have so great a cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let us also lay aside every encumbrance and the sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him who has endured such hostility by sinners against himself, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart." And man, I've just been so caught up in a couple things in here, but just especially fixing our eyes upon Jesus, the author and perfecter of faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross. Because that right there is, in a nutshell, that's the epitome of being a Christian. Is, man, we have taken Jesus at his word, and also at his deed of going to the cross, and we've accepted him as our Savior. We have a relationship with him. But man, being a Christian is not just a, every so often type thing that we do. It's not like our job where it's like, hey, I have my family, but I also go to work. I also do this thing. No, I am fixing my eyes upon Jesus every single day. That's the call of a Christian, is to fix our eyes upon him. And when we fix our eyes upon him, it says that he is the author and perfecter of faith. It's not by our own strength and our own works, where earlier when he says, let us also lay aside every encumbrance and sin which so easily entangles us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. It's not by our own strength that we are running the race. It's not by our own willpower that we are getting rid of sin in our lives. It's through the fixing of our eyes upon the author and perfecter of our faith. It's by fixing our eyes upon him. That's where, man, any if you want to call it progress, but any in your life, any good thing, every good thing comes from him. Any good change that happens within you, when we grow closer to him, it all comes from fixing our eyes upon him and just being so enamored with him that it causes everything else to change. Causes everything else to move around us. And man, I've just been so caught up in verse 3 when it says, "For consider him who has endured such hostility by sinners against himself, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart." Man, when we talk about, like, people say like burnout, like, oh, I'm burned out with serving at church, or I'm burned out with my job, or I'm burned out with whatever, like, man, I think that a lot of the times we grow weary and lose heart in things because of our perspective and the way that we're viewing what's going on around us. It's because we are considering ourselves first and foremost, and how everything going on around us impacts us first. But when we really shift that and we consider him, we lay our eyes upon him, we consider first what it says here, that he endured hostility by sinners against himself for our well-being, for us to be made one with him. When we consider that, that shapes our entire perspective on how we, everything. It's not us against the world anymore, or everybody's coming against me. It's, man, no, this is just the way, it's the sinful nature of the world. But I consider the way that the Lord loves me. I consider the way that he sacrificed himself for me, and that shapes the way that I view everything else. The other thing here that I wanted to hit on was in Ephesians 4. It says, "Assuming that you have heard about him and were taught in him, as the truth is in Jesus, to put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness." Evan, you want to play that video? I just have a short little YouTube video that we're going to watch for a minute here.
There are times, however, when an arthropod must leave its armor behind. In order to grow, it undergoes one of the most amazing transformations in the animal kingdom. First, the mounting pressures of its growing body crack open its exoskeleton. Beneath the shell, a soft, new skeleton has been developing. In less than 30 minutes of struggling and squirming, this crab breaks free of its old skeleton, a process called molting. It emerges with an entirely new covering, from legs to body to eyes. Its soft new skeleton will inflate quickly to a larger shell and harden during the next 2 days. For the soft shell crab, a prized meal of many predators and humans, it's a dangerous 2 days.
All right, I think that's good, Evan. Good, nice. It's over. It's nice. I knew Zach would like that one. That's pretty cool. But anyway, so that is a silly little example of just in nature the way that the Lord has designed things. That, man, that crab, at some point, the growth that it is experiencing, the new levels that it's going to, the way that it has to go through the molting process, and it has to shed the exterior and create an entirely new hardened shell around it. because it can't stay where it's at right now. If it didn't do this, it would literally grow so big inside that shell, and it would die because it has nowhere to go. Yeah, he's shocked. But that's just like a little visual where I had seen that last week, and I was like, dude, what in the world? Like, I didn't know that crabs, I don't study crabs, but I didn't know that crabs did that. Like, I just thought that they were what they are. But that's like a physical, like, visual representation of, man, when the guy that's talking there, he says they have an entirely new exoskeleton from top to bottom. Their eyes, even the covering on their eyes is new. Everything is made brand new. And there's a moment of vulnerability where they have to shed that shell, the hard exterior, and be vulnerable for a minute so that they can step into and grow into the next thing that is for them. So man, that's just, as we talk about, man, what does it mean to be a Christian? What does it mean to fix our eyes upon him and let the Lord really do that work in you? And as you fix your eyes upon him, to let him be the one that really sheds the old self and puts on the new self. You know, because I think a lot of times when we read that scripture, when he's talking about, you know, taking off the old self and putting on the new self, that seems like a really, like, daunting thing. Like, there is so much work that I have to do. But in reality, this is just the natural process of being a Christian. This is just naturally the next step where you let him be the one that sheds the exoskeleton. You're letting him be the one that is creating the new you that you're putting on. And it simply is the surrendering and letting him do it. And you take that moment of vulnerability, you say, Lord, this is all for you. Whatever you want, even if it's not necessarily sinful, but if it's something I have out of place, that it would just be a sacrifice unto you, and you would just do what you need to do here. You'd have your way in me. So yeah, as we go into prayer today, man, I just want to give us that reminder that, man, in everything we do, not just here, but as you leave this place, just fixing our eyes upon the author and perfecter of our faith. Fixing our eyes upon the one who went to the cross for the joy set before him. Not going to the cross in a manner of, you know, man, are these guys worth it or not? No, the joy set before him is that we get to be one with him, not just for eternity, but now. That was the joy set before him. So man, I'm so stoked for today and what he's going to do, but I'm even more excited for, man, what do we as a body look like? You know, we've been doing this for 7 years now. What do we as a body look like another 7 years down the track when we are just a group of people just fixing our eyes upon him daily and just going after him? Because that is the true success of the bride of the church and Christians in general, is not just the gathering on a Sunday, but man, years from now, what do Wayne and Mandy look like as being just eyes fixed on Jesus? You know, what, like, man, that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited for the testimony down the road of this particular section of the bride and the way that we go after him together. So yeah, that's what I got today. Let's circle up and go pray.